Well, as you know by now, the Obamas are on the hunt for the perfect dog for the White House, but they have to be careful to keep daughter Malia's allergies in mind when picking out their presidential pooch. And this got us to thinking, how do you go about picking the perfect pet for your family? We sent our resident vet, Marty Becker, out on pet patrol once again for us to help us figure this out. And he's here with a friend from the New York Humane Society. This is Shelby right here, right?
Shelby's a little Jack Russell poodle cross. She's 9 weeks old, and she wants to go from the cage at the shelter to the couch at somebody's home.
I have a feeling she's going to be snatched up pretty quick with a cute little face like that. She's a darling, but you know, when it comes to picking out a dog, a lot of dog owners don't make the right decision. That perpetuates the shelter problem, right?
Right. This is going to surprise you that because of poor pet selection and not getting proper socialization and behavioral training, 6 million dogs and cats are relinquished to shelters every year. Of those, about 3 million are adopted or reclaimed by their owners, so that leaves 3 million dogs and cats that are euthanized. And it's really a tragedy. And if people spent more time up front picking the right pet out and taking the proper steps to socialization and behavioral training, we could cut that number way down.
And follow Bob Barker's advice. Get those dogs spayed and neutered, right?
Yes, sir.
You said that one of the important factors in picking out a dog is the whole car-pet debate, right?
Now, how do you have that analogy? Here's the thing with cars. Like right now, I'm looking for a new car, for example.
Okay.
So what you do your online research.
Yeah.
You test drive different makes and models. You look at stuff on the street. You ask people, what's your experience been with that? I even talked to several mechanics. What do you like to work on and why?
Yeah.
So I spend all this time looking for, let's say, the right Range Rover, right?
Right.
Now, what happens with people with a pet? It's typically an impulse thing.
Yeah, you see it on TV or in a movie.
Yeah, there's Beverly Hills Chihuahua or 101 Dalmatians or something, or you just go to and look at a litter. You see one in a pet store, and you realize these puppies' eyes are the same size as a puppy's. They're going to be as an adult, so you look at them and you're just like, oh my gosh. So it could be a werewolf puppy, and you probably take it home. But you really need to do your research. You need to look up front as, you know, what are my expectations for a pet? What's my lifestyle like? What's my budget like? Talk to other people that own these dogs, talk to shelter personnel, and the number one thing I would tell you to do is talk to your veterinarian.
That's a very good idea. Go to the vet first. Okay, so Vice President-elect Joe Biden has already picked out a dog for the family. He's getting, I think, a full-bred German Shepherd, and that sort of brings up the debate. Do you get a full breed? Do you get a mutt? Which is the better option?
Well, you know, I like both, so I'm not trying to be like
one of those people who
Dion,
says...
Dion, remember when he goes football or baseball and he goes both, right?
Right.
I actually, there's both things.
Okay.
I have a neighbor that has cattle.
All right.
And so he needs a working dog. You know, a little Jack Russell Terrier poodle mix here is probably not going to be the best dog to be a working dog. So he has a border collie.
Yeah.
We have another one, a neighbor that has goats and sheep, and we have coyotes where we live, and they need a working dog. So they've had a Commodore, they have a Great Pyrenees. They're bred to do that. If you're a hunter, you probably need a retriever. You know, you need a Labrador too. They can swim out there. My little daughter's pugs aren't going to swim out there. But if I had to just pick one, I'm always going to go with a shelter pet, if I had to. But there's what we call a hybrid vigor. If you have these crossbreeds, there's less medical problems. They're stronger. There's just fewer issues. So I always tend to go with a mixed breed dog from a shelter.
Let's talk about size, because that can be a deceptive thing too. I mean, you've got a very cute little puppy on your lap right there, and if he stayed just like that, then he'd be the perfect dog for everyone. But that Jack Russell poodle mix is going to get a lot bigger.
Right. Now, first of all, you could talk to your veterinarian and ask them about what size is this dog going to be when it's adult. And also, there's new genetics tests out, which a lot of people don't know about. Like there's a Wisdom Panel MX test out from Mars Veterinary.
Yeah.
It's quite inexpensive, $130. You can actually genetically test them to see what the breed makeup is. So then you'd have a really good idea. But let's take a large dog. A large dog is going to eat more. It's going to go to the bathroom more. It's going to also shed more. If you just look at the sheer size of it with hair coming out. They also don't live as long. So for a large breed like an adult, you have a Wheaten Terrier, I believe, and they get up 10, 12. That's very, very old for them.
Right.
Smaller dogs, while they don't eat as much, they don't go to the bathroom much, they're more portable. They also have more dental problems. So that's other things that you're going to have to get their teeth cleaned. You have a Wheaten that has to be groomed, so there's other factors on that. How much they eat, what's the veterinary care like. Certain breeds have more medical problems, but You want to look at a dog for about what it's going to be as its adult size at a year of age.
Well, you mentioned a lot of financial things there too, and that's an important consideration right now. The economy's bad. We've done stories about people taking their dogs back to the shelter because they just can't afford them. So you really have to ask yourself, how much can I pay to keep this pet happy?
And think about what your lifestyle and your expectation is. Do you want a lap dog like this that lays in your lap? You've had a Dalmatian in the past. That's a lap dog that runs laps, around the neighborhood, around the city.
Wherever, yeah.
Very active. So really, what's your lifestyle like? Does your landlord allow pets? What's my budget like? Can I afford a dog that has to be groomed every 6 weeks and things? There's a lot of considerations.
And there's obviously an emotional void that a dog is filling. So you sort of have to ask yourself, why do I want to get this dog in the first place, right?
I will tell you the great thing about a dog. I mean, I'm a veterinarian 30 years, but a lifetime pet lover. There's nothing quite like the unconditional love. Here on the set you see celebrities. There was a celebrity here today and everybody looks at him like, oh my gosh, it's Ryan Seacrest. I can't believe it. Well, big deal. You get that every day when you come home. If you got a dog,
that's true.
They're like, oh my God, there's Jeremy, there's Marty.
Yes.
I can't believe it,
There's no feeling like it.
Oh, unbelievable. And you never see the dog's suitcases packed and the cat never writes you a note saying, I found somebody else, I'm out of here,
Dear John letter from your cat.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about the Obamas, and they have an important decision to make because one of their daughters is allergic. So how do you find a hypoallergenic dog? Which breeds can help with that?
Well, you have the perfect example because you have a Wheaton.
Yes.
People often say Wheatons and Bijans and others are hypoallergenic. There is no such thing as a hypoallergenic dog.
Right.
And contrary to popular belief, it's not the hair that causes the allergies. It's the saliva that becomes dried on the skin. And so it's dried saliva that becomes part of dander. And when the hair comes off, it's merely a carrier for the dander that causes the allergies.
I got you.
So now I'm going to tell you something that's probably going to go against conventional wisdom, but that's why this makes good TV, right?
All right.
If I was going to get them a dog, I would get a small, long-haired dog. Now, why a long-haired dog? Long hair is genetically triggered to fall out less often than short hair.
Okay.
And so what you do is you keep a long-haired dog, and you get a small dog, because a small dog has actually less hair to come out than a big dog.
Right.
Smaller dog, long hair, and you keep it trimmed short. So that hair is genetically triggered not to fall out as often. What does fall out is shorter, smaller dog.
Yeah.
Bathe it once a week. You can use a great shampoo, or just bathe it in cold water or warm water.
Right.
But it's a matter of just getting the dander off the dog.
So if the hair's shorter, there's less hair for the dog to lick, less saliva,
right,
less allergies.
But go to the local shelter, talk to them, find a mixed breed, long-haired, small dog, keep it trimmed short, and what the Obamas should do is just have somebody bathe that dog once a week, and they're good to go.
My vote is for Wheaton Terrier. Obamas, if you're listening, if you're watching, you might want to give Dr. Becker a call before you go pick out your dog, because these are some good tips. You've learned that. For more tips on picking out the perfect pet for you, check out Dr. Becker's book, The Healing Power of Pets. And remember, our furry friends today, like Shelby, are adoptable from the Humane Society of New York. Thanks for watching GMA Now.